All of us would be extremely excited if somebody important called us and said, we have a special assignment for you. Depending upon how high up in popularity they were, we take the assignment with great joy. But we all have an assignment much more powerful than that. I'm reminded often, and the Lord reminds me, and I remind myself, that we are on an assignment from God. And He's assigned us to places where we're supposed to go, what we're supposed to do, how we're supposed to respond, how we're supposed to live, how we're supposed to impact people. Often people say, I don't see how you can get on a plane and travel 22 hours, assignment from God. And I don't see how you could drive around the country, assignment from God. When I remember on occasion going home after service one night, and I just feel like this was the right thing for, and God said, you're on assignment. Doesn't make any difference what anybody else, you're on my assignment. You do what I tell you to do. And assignment from God. But we often miss those assignments, don't we? The student says to the teacher, no, I don't have the assignment done. Kind of passes it off. I think often we do the same thing. God, I missed that assignment. Too bad. Come with us now and watch how a lady called Ruth answers her assignment to God, from God.
I opened my mailbox and there was a letter. There was no stamp, no postmark, just my name and address. So I opened it up and it said, Dear Ruth, that's me. I'm going to be in the neighborhood this afternoon and I'd like to stop by for a visit. Love always, Jesus. My hands were shaking as I put the letter down on the table. Why would the Lord want to visit me? I'm nothing special. I have nothing to offer. And then I remembered my empty kitchen cabinets. I really don't have anything to offer. I'll have to go to the store and get some groceries for tonight. I looked in my wallet and counted what was in it. $10.12. That should be enough to get some bread and cold cuts at least. So I threw on my coat and I hurried out the door. I was able to get a loaf of bread, a gallon of milk, and some cold cuts for tonight, leaving me with a grand total of 25 cents to last me until Monday. Nevertheless, I was pleased with my meager offerings as I made my way home.
Ma'am.
I had been so absorbed in my dinner plans that I hadn't even noticed the two figures huddled in the alleyway.
I lost my job recently, and we've been living on the streets, and, well, it's getting cold, and we were wondering if you could help us in any way.
It was a man and his wife, dressed in little more than rags. So they were dirty, they smelled bad, and frankly, I was certain that they could get some kind of work if they really wanted to. So I said, Sir, I'm a poor woman myself, and I'm having an important guest over for dinner tonight, and I was planning on serving this to him.
Yeah, it's okay. I understand.
I felt a familiar twinge in my heart as I watched them walk away. So I said, Sir, wait. I can figure out something else to serve my guest. Here, why don't you take this?
Thank you.
I handed the man my grocery bag, and I noticed that his wife was shivering. I have another coat at home. Here, why don't you take this one? I slipped the coat over his wife's shoulders. As I made my way back to the street, all I heard was,
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I was chilled by the time I reached my front door, and worried too. The Lord was coming to visit, and I had nothing to offer him. As I fumbled for my keys, I noticed that there was another letter in the mailbox. That's strange. The mailman only comes once in a day. So I opened it up, and it said, Dear Ruth, it was so good to see you again. Thank you for the lovely meal, and for the beautiful coat, too. Love always, Jesus. P.S. Inasmuch as you have done it unto the least of these my brethren, you have done it unto me. The air was still cold, but even without my jacket. I didn't notice it anymore.
Yes.
Well, all of us all day long are on assignment. Now, we're assigned, God's given us a job to do, responsibilities to do, but during that responsibility, we have other assignments. There's somebody here that needs a cup of water, so we can give a cup of water. But we often miss that, don't we? Now, you won't find any letters at home from Jesus. You'll find a black book laying on your counter or your bookshelf. It says Holy Bible from Jesus. And he said in there that we're supposed to give to the poor. He that lendeth to the poor lendeth to God. So on our assignment from God, investing in others, maybe it's giving them a coat, maybe it's giving them a pair of shoes, maybe it's giving them a travel. Whatever the assignment is, all of us have a different part in the big puzzle that God has. And he gives you a spot, and me a spot, and we all have an assignment. Let's be careful to follow our assignment through very carefully and obediently, because one day we're going to stand in front of him and give an account for the way we did our assignments. The teacher says to the students, do you have your work done? And almost all of them say, yes. But there's always a few. No, I didn't get it. And they have lots of excuses. We'll have a lot of excuses, but Scripture says, live in the fear of God, because one day he's going to bring everything into judgment, including the assignments.